This is Lady Boulay, and I hope you're having a wonderful day. Thank you for your support. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Thank you for your thumbs up, for your comments, and thank you for sharing the videos. Thank you for all you do to support the channel. And yes, we are commanded to love one another, whether we want to or not, or whether we agree with each other or not. Well, y'all, the Black American family is at a crossroad, and we're at a crossroad where we're going to have to decide whether we're going to fight for our lineage, for our culture, for our history, for what we have accomplished in this country. We've been here for over 400 years now, and we know our history. We know that America was built on the backs of our ancestors, and we have been striving and thriving and competing and building for 400 years, whether it was for ourselves or for somebody else. Now we've got these black immigrants coming in here, these Johnny come latelys coming in here just lying. We're doing better than the black Americans. We have more degrees than the black Americans. We do this, we do that, we're all that. And it's like, what are you talking about? And so I've been stunned by it, but I think the younger generation is not. I think they say, no, we're going to have to tackle this head on because these people are basically just trying to lie their way to the top. And that's all it comes down to. Talking about how much better they are and how much better they do. And they don't have anything and they're not doing anything that they didn't get by coming in here and sliding in onto our square and benefiting from what we have done here. So we have a decision to make. Are we going to ignore them or are we going to stand up to them? Now, I came across this video on TikTok, and this young lady pretty much sums it up. So listen to what she says.
So my problem be, okay, that too many folk gotta have conversations with them like they children, like they new people. Okay? So I seen in the comments of basically talking about how Africans and Caribbeans, and we know all of y'all is different places from different places in Africa, different places in the Caribbeans. That's just a group title, okay? Just like we black Americans, even though we all from different states and shit, right? Okay, cool. So basically, for some reason they think they outnumber the black Americans that are there. They don't. Okay? They don't. Just like they thought that they got more degrees than black Americans do. And it's like, y'all don't. We know y'all population size. You don't have more degrees than black Americans because there's only 4 million of y'all. Okay? And then there's 25 million black people who have a degree. So there's no way y'all have more degrees than black Americans do. But that's an example of the fuck shit. Okay, when we talking about them trying to take over, they be trying to lie their way to the top. Okay, they be trying to lie their way to the top. You got some black Americans straight from the motherfucking hood, a single mama home that got 5 goddamn degrees. Okay, we got straight up and down hood niggas walking around here with 3 degrees. Okay, I know. My husband is one of them. My daddy is another one. Okay, the hood boys, baby. But anyhow, okay, when we're talking about the taking over, it's the fact that, and they don't be listening neither. So, some of them tried to use in the comments the example of Cinco de Mayo. I said Cinco de Mayo about the Mexicans. When it's Cinco de Mayo, you don't see us talking about soul food and waving the Sulani flag. It is not about us. It's about them. Okay, that's when we up here talking about what's going on at the carne asada. That's when we're sitting up here celebrating them and learning a little bit more about their history that we may not have known. I learn something new every time on Cinco de Mayo. You know, different details and stuff about the various different wars and shit that they had. Somebody had told me something about what was we discussing? Something in the Mexican war, something like that. Anywho, when it comes down to St. Patrick's Day, that's about the Irish. Okay? You're going to see restaurants have menus, St. Patty's bar crawls. You're going to see them playing some music that is, of Irish origin. You're going to see them change their menu and have some food offerings and things like that is catered to being about the Irish. Okay? Now, when it gets to Juneteenth, okay, that is about black Americans. That is not for whatever Caribbean country you from. It is not about whatever African country you from. It is about black Americans. Okay? Because the last folk in America to be free, the last, so they say, okay? to what we all, some of them, that they wasn't the last, but they the last to be free. It's Texas. Okay? Big Texas, baby. Them, the Lone Star State. All right? So they were the last one to join the cookout. Okay? And so this is about them. Okay? And this is about all of us. Okay? Who were free. Okay? In various different secessions. Okay? We're going to talk about the Gullah Black Seminole War. Okay? We're going to talk about the Stono Rebellion. Okay? We're going to talk about Yamasi. Okay? We're going to talk about all that shit on our day. Seems to me that the Caribbeans and Africans have an issue in understanding when it is Black Americans' day and it's not their day. And that's what people getting tired of. It's not your day. You here? Great. You know what you're supposed to do on Juneteenth? You're supposed to celebrate Black Americans. You're not supposed to be celebrating you. It's not your day. It's not about you. It's basically like when you have 2-3 kids, okay? And it's one of the kids' birthday, and the other kid don't understand that it's not their birthday, it's that their sibling's birthday. Yeah, it's our birthday. It's not your day. The party is for us, and everybody came here to see us. Ain't nobody come to see you, Otis. Ain't nobody come to see you, Otis. Okay? And y'all have to learn that. They got to get better with that shit when it comes to Black Americans. And then I think things will get better from there once they figure that out.
She said a couple of things that really resonate. One of them is that they don't realize that they are not the majority in the United States. They live in those big coastal cities like Miami and New York, and they really think that they are in a majority because Black Americans have moved out of those areas into the suburbs, and in some cases moved back to the South and let them have it. Because New York City is a city where you're either poor or you're rich. If you're poor, you get all of the free stuff. Then if you're rich, you employ the poor people. But it's really not a city for somebody who's existing on minimum wages. It's just not. So they think they're in a majority because they might be in a majority in these big cities that they migrate to, but they're not in the majority, and they don't have the majority of anything in America over Black Americans. And then again, she's right again. They don't listen. The only group of immigrants that I know listen because I lived among them, the Somalis. Now they're all over the place. And they'll just be saying anything, but when you try to have a conversation with them, they know how to listen. And I haven't found that to be true for the others that I've met. Now, I haven't met all of them, and there are small enclaves of African immigrants and Caribbean immigrants that I don't know. But, the loud ones are the ones that are going to make themselves known. But she's right about that. And she's also right about the fact that they think that anything that comes up for Black Americans, that they're supposed to have an equal part. If it's Juneteenth, if it's Black History Month, they think that's about them. They think HBCUs for just were built by white people for Black people, any Black people. No. And that's another thing. They don't learn the history of America. They come here with their own preconceived notions and they try to impose that on you. I keep saying this, and people think I'm being divisive or whatever they want to. I don't care what they think it is. But you need to know how to act when you go to another country. The people that were already there set the stage for what's going on in that place, not you, when you just got there. And so we will continue to have this fight and stand up to them. There are people in the Black immigrant communities that are measured, that are sensible, and they understand. I think they have a hard time getting through to the others because they think they're still in their homeland, doing all that janky BS that they do in their homeland. America does not operate like that. And she is so right. And they're not even entitled to a day. I saw that the mayor of Chicago was talking about an African day. Well, if they can get a day going, good for them. But they're not entitled to a day. They didn't build this country. They didn't even help build it. They're just over here now on our dime and don't even have the understanding to realize that. But what we need to make it clear is you're not going to lie your way to the top. You're not running anything in America. You're just here trying to get by like everybody else. And you need to stay in your place. And that needs to be the message. You need to stay in your place and be respectful of all of the people that were here when you got here. And I think if they come to understand that, we'll have a better relationship. Well, let me put it like this: until they come to understand that, we won't have a better relationship. Okay, y'all let me know what you think about this. Thank you for listening. Give me a thumbs up and have a great day.